Okay, so what we're going to go through now, we're going to go through the lat pull down. It's a great compound exercise which is great for creating that V shape. So what we're going to go through now is the do's and the don'ts that you shouldn't be doing when you're doing this exercise. So when it comes to hand placement, it's going to be a little bit different for everyone. You know, everyone's got unique hand placement, but a general rule of thumb, if you just put your hands just beyond shoulder width, that's going to be a good starting point for everyone to go off. So the big thing when you do any type of pulling exercise, you know, anything where it's pulling above your head vertically, or anything when it's, you know, you're pulling horizontally, it's all to do with scapular retraction. So making sure you drop your shoulder blades down, but also at the same time retract them. So I'm just going to show you this now. Before I even do the full movement, I'm just going to show you the first part is where you drop your shoulder blades. You see my elbows, they're not even bending. I've dropped my shoulder blades a whole 2 inches before I even bent my elbows. So get a full stretch. That there at the top is your muscle fully lengthened. Dropping my shoulder blades, that's muscle getting engaged. So that's how we should always start off each exercise. So first part, drop your shoulder blades, then pull, just to chin level, no lower than that. Keep those shoulder blades locked in tight. And then when you get really close to the top and your elbows are close to locking out, that's when you let your shoulder blades drop out. So I'm going to explain that now even more with a bar, so we can explain it even more in depth. So arm locked, that there, fully stretch out, is a muscle fully lengthened. So whatever exercise you're doing, you've always got to take your muscle from fully lengthened to fully shortened. So that's it, fully lengthened. Now you've got to initiate the muscle with your lats, so the working muscle. So it's dropping those shoulder blades. See, my elbow's not even bent. Start it off with the working muscle. Now I'm going to pull down. Keep this nice and tight. So that's the muscle fully shortened. And when I'm going back up to the top now, keeping this locked in so it stays engaged all the way to the top. And when the elbows get close to locking out, that's when I let it stretch out. So fully lengthened. Always take a muscle from fully lengthened to fully shortened, and then you just completely repeat that process rep after rep after rep. So I'm just going to go do a few demo reps of that exercise now, and I'm going to give you a few more things to think about to get the exercise even better for you. So we'll do 3 reps together. So drop your shoulder blades, pull just to chin level, keep those shoulder blades locked down tight. When you get close to locking out, let them stretch out, muscle fully lengthened. Again, repeat, drop your shoulder blades, engage the muscle, just to chin height, keep them locked in. When you get close to the top, let your muscle fully length out. Last time round, drop your shoulder blades, just to chin level, keep those shoulder blades locked in, fully lock out so you get a full stretch of the muscles. So a few more tips on this, guys, is that people try to pull too low with this exercise. Whatever exercise you're doing, you've got a range of motion, and it's making sure you don't go past that range of motion. So if you do, you're taking tension away from the muscle you're trying to train, and you're placing it onto different muscle groups. So a good tip with this is drop my shoulder blades, pull all the way down. I've pulled my elbows into my sides. And if you look at my hands now, imagine I've got a bar going all the way across. You see my hands are in line with my chin. Pretty much for the general population, for everyone, that's where you should be pulling the bar to. If you pull any lower, what's happening, I can't pull my arms any further down now. If I pull any lower, all that's going to happen is, for me to get lower, I've got to let my shoulder blades, I've got to let my shoulders round. And now all that tension is getting shifted away from my lats, it's going to my rhomboids, it's going to my traps, and you're using a hell of a lot of arms, and you're no longer fully isolating your lats. So that's a big no-no. So always stop at your chin, don't try and pull down to your chest, don't try and pull in any lower than that. And another good tip, so you feel this even more in your lats, what I want you to think about in your head when you're doing this, don't think you're pulling down. I want you to think you're pulling your elbows towards your pockets, like you think in your head like you're creating a V shape. So imagine doing this, you're pulling your elbows into your pockets. So, and you're going to feel it so much more in your lats when you do that. When I give that tip to people, go, stop thinking about pulling it down. Think about pulling it into your pockets, creating that V shape. Everyone's always said to me, they feel it so much more in the lats. So I'm just going to give you one last tip on these, just to build that picture even more, so you don't completely dial the exercise in. So when you're pulling down, you pull it into pockets, make sure your elbows are always facing the floor. And that way, you know you're doing it right. Because if your elbows start going back, tilting back like this, 1, you've gone below your chin. 2, the lower's starting to shift to your shoulders, starting to shift to your arms, starting to shift to your rhomboids, starting to shift to your traps, and you're taking all that tension away from your lats. So that's the major tips when it comes to doing a lat pull down.